On this Christmas vlog, I would like to bring your attention to the rise of domestic abuse. Christmas sees a special spike in domestic abuse. There are some public information posters that says that domestic abuse does not rest during the holiday period, that it doesn't go on holiday. Well, in fact, it actually gets worse. We see more examples of that. Why? For the more opportunities for alcohol abuse, which is a contributory factor, more financial tensions, which then give more excuses for the abuser to act in the way that they do. Um, there are various different types of domestic abusers. We can't categorize them all as the same, obviously. And of course, we can't say that these factors, if they were removed, they would stop abusing. That's not necessarily the case. What we can do is look at things in the short term, such as the behaviours being exhibited by people who might be being targeted by domestic abuse, potential victims of domestic abuse, especially if we see signs that they're under coercive control, that they're being limited in the actions that they do, if their behaviours are changing significantly. Obviously, victims of domestic abuse are not just women, and we're seeing a hell of a lot more information brought forward on domestic abuse against women. Fortunately, we're seeing more people in the child protection world who aren't overlooking this problem, who are bringing it to the forefront and giving it the attention it needs, the attention it deserves. Individuals like Tammy Yard-McCracken and her 500 Rising, Tiffany Richards, also over in America, doing fantastic work in that and has been for a long time. People like Mary Stevens, who's also my co-creator in the Animal Instincts Children's Child Protection Teaching Program. We have an entire lesson dedicated to monitoring signs of abusive relationships. It crops up regularly in our teenage course, the teenage course part of our program. We address that. So we have one that's especially for parents as well. So parents concerned about their teenagers getting involved in an abusive relationship with other teenagers. That information is all there as well. And people like Jessica Jones teaches Krav Maga in Manchester region. So there are good people out there. There are luminaries in the field, people who I'm very grateful of, who've also connected me to other people that have shared more information on this subject that can better inform my own teaching. So yes, domestic abuse, a very serious subject that is seeing significant rise, far more likely violent individual that a woman is going to encounter. Whenever I teach girls teenage self-protection courses, one of the first things that I tell them all is that their most likely offender, the most likely person that they'll encounter in their life that will be violent towards them, is going to be someone they know, someone they're close to, and it's most the top of the list will be their boyfriend or their husband. So, which is always a shocking thing. I mean, even now, even with all the awareness about it, I have never delivered that in a lesson, that fact, and never have I done it. And when the majority of the people there haven't been surprised, everyone there has often been surprised, even though we have all this information about this. So yes, there needs to be more attention raised there. As individuals, what can we do? We can look out for obvious signs, people's change of behaviour, people who if their behaviour is changing, and they're in a recent relationship, if they're suddenly not being permitted to do certain things that they would normally do, or there are signs they're not being permitted to do that. There's signs of coercive control. As we know, a lot of physical abuse often starts as being psychological abuse. Not to say that psychological abuse isn't as bad, but they often go hand in hand too. We can also look more into the culture that surrounds the festive period that could put tensions and exacerbate these problems. Things like obviously the flow of alcohol. There's only so much you can do with that, but encouraging that type of culture isn't always a great thing. But more importantly, things like the pressures on finances. Be adults, agree not to give each other presents. Don't keep each other all these ridiculous sort of presents that just become landfill anyway, that put unnecessary pressures on individuals that could mean reducing their basic needs in the home for the sake of buying you a present or other people a present. Try to create that type of culture. Again, as I said, these are contributory factors that exacerbate situations like domestic abuse and many other problems as well, I hasten to add, over the Christmas period. But a person who abuses is still going to abuse, whether or not they're fueled by alcohol or under the stresses and strains of troublesome finances. So yes, look out for those signs. Also look out for signs and potential predators as well. People's how individuals might act in a relationship with another person, especially if it's one of your teenage children, if they're acting in a very controlling way, in a way that is a bit troubling. These are times that we need to be having these discussions. Unfortunately, we're seeing with such things from the manosphere and various other toxic influences out there at the moment. Domestic abuse is going to be on the rise, with some people effectively promoting it as a form of manliness, as a form of strength, when it most certainly isn't. We need to be countering that type of culture and promoting more a system of respect for individuals, and healthy relationships. So keep in mind of that. That's an area of self-protection that's often overlooked. Fortunately, more people are doing things about it. We have got some very good luminaries in the field, but us as individuals, be watchful of it on over the festive period. And if you're interested in booking me for 2026, please get in contact. I offer a variety of bespoke services in self-protection. That's personal security and self-defense, ideal for the individual, small group, or your business. I have provided services to a wide variety of different institutions, businesses, both nationally and internationally. In the meantime, please have a restful, fun, joyous, and safe festive season.